Okay, so lower back. The lower back tends to become cranky if we are feeling ungrounded, if we're not feeling supported or stable in our environment. So tonight we'll stay a little closer to the ground. And when we do come to standing, my intention is to explore vinyasa within stillness and simplicity. So typically we think of vinyasa as, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, repeat. And I'd like to offer another experience with that. Paused due to poor connection. Well, nothing I can do about that. Poor connection, must be a lower back night. Even the internet is feeling unstable. So we'll find our seat. The earth is always there to support us, to hold us upright. So allow yourself to sink into your bottom. Your legs, allow the knees to fall down towards the ground, the shoulders to drop. And unhinge your jaw. Let the tongue rest away from the roof of the mouth. You may part the lips and perhaps bring them to touch again, feeling how they fit together. Relax the muscles around your eyes and your forehead. For the next few minutes, just breathe. Allow the external environment to fall away. Just breathe it out. And each inhale, connecting to your center. Drop your awareness down into the deep lower belly. Hang out there for a few breaths. Allow the belly to expand. Connecting to the pelvic floor, the roots of your legs. Pelvis, torso, coming into the heart space, taking a full breath in. Follow the navel in towards the spine as you exhale slowly and gently. Releasing a little bit more with each out breath. Preparing for your practice. You may set an intention. Try a few silent rounds of Om. We'll begin. So bringing hands to the knees, we'll start to whirlpool around. And these movements can be slow or you can make them big or small. Might pick up some tempo, get a little faster, whatever you need right now. Exploring in the diaphragm and the side body, scooping around towards the back, and at any time switch directions. If you find any areas that are sticky or need some attention, you might rock back and forth into them. I've already found one or two. So whenever we're working on releasing tension in the lower back, we want to work the diaphragm as well. The diaphragm and the quadratus lumborum, they're interconnected as well as the lats. All of that pulls on the lower back. Big breath into the diaphragm. Scoop around back, contracting solar plexus. Get into the sides, your intercostal muscles. And you can reach your right arm over to the side, opening up that lat there under the armpit, even twisting open. You might reach forward, rounding a little bit, switching sides, left arm reaches. It's a little free flow movement here. You can reach back behind you, move into a twist. Maybe some spirals through the torso. Belly balls, rotations. So let's take the left hand over to the right knee and take that twist together. Lifting up through the spine and the crown of the head. Big inhale. Exhale and twist, turning your gaze over the right shoulder. And as you unravel, take your right arm over the left, crossing your elbows, and you can take your right hand to your left knee. And if you bobble your head forward between your biceps, this is a nice stretch here. Holding onto your knees, but you can bring them up to your thighs. And keeping that right hand on your left knee, take the left hand now back behind you for a twist towards the left. So inhale, lengthen. Ooh. And exhale, start your rotation. And listen to your body. So the movements don't have to be rigid. You're just exploring. You're wringing out your organs, kind of squeezing the spine a little bit. Ooh, snaps, crackles, pops already. That's a good sign. Breathe into the space of your belly. And as you exhale, very gently draw the navel in towards the spine. See if you can twist a little deeper. Expel all the air from your lungs. And as you inhale, come back to center. Now, left arm's on top, cross your elbows. Left hand takes right knee. And again, rock from side to side. Bring your head forward. Rolling around. Yes. Crack, 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 crack. All right, it's effective. It's working. It's working. All right, then hands on the knees. Lengthen through the spine. 3 breaths to ground fully. We are prepared for our practice. So finding Sukhasana, if you're not there already, one heel in front of the pubic bone, the other in front of your ankle. We'll bring hands to prayer, lifting the elbows and press your palms together. So coming to our center. 3 breaths, draw the shoulder blades back and down. Pressing palms together. Inhale, reach straight up. Open your hands, lift the gaze. 3 breaths here. Lift the rib cage up off the hips. So rooted, grounded, knees relaxed down. You might even lift and lower a little. Rooting through the sitting bones and simultaneously lifting up through the side body to elongate. And then opening to source. Relax your shoulders down, breathe into your heart space. Might wiggle your fingers and we'll dive forward, folding in. Walk your hands over to the right, left hand on top, and take your fingers and interlace them. Give your left hand a little tug, so you're pulling with your left hand into the right. Keep the right grounded, get a nice stretch underneath that left armpit, side body. You might look over the right shoulder. And on an inhale, take your hands through center. Good, so left hand grounds, your right hand this time will interlace your fingers in between the left hand, fingers, and pull. So your right hand is pulling on the left. The left is grounded. Getting that stretch underneath your right armpit, right side body. You might turn your gaze over the left shoulder. Come through center, inhale. One more time, walk the hands in, find prayer. Bring your fingertips to touch one at a time. Press the palms together and lift the elbows. Draw shoulders back and down. 3 breaths, closing your eyes. Or you can find a drishti out in front, softening your gaze. Allow your vision to be soft, kind of fuzzy. Focusing inward as you inhale, root through the sitting bones, reach skyward. Open the hands. I can see in my mind the tarot card of the magician right now. Arms up, look towards the sky. Roll out your wrists maybe. More cracks, snaps, and pops. And fold forward. This time we'll come into tabletop. So tabletop position, on your hands and knees. We'll begin by circling out the hips just to explore here. So, oh yeah. Let your hips hang forward a little bit as if you're coming into an up dog. Circling around. Down and around, up and back. We'll come into puppy. So, knees under hips, walk the hands forward. Since we're still warming up, you might bring a block down for your chest as a little bit of a landing pad. Let your chest rest on the block. Now your forehead or your chin can come to the floor. 3 breaths. Exhale out with an audible sigh. Good. Walk the hands in. We will come in to cat and cow. So, the wrists underneath shoulders. Curl the tailbone under and round the spine as you breathe out. Cat tuck. And inhale, spill the belly forward. Come into cow. Slide the shoulder blades down, screw the hands into the floor, on an in-breath, and exhale, curl the tailbone under and round the spine. So several passes here. Exhale for cat, inhale cow. Eyes of the elbows spiral forward, kind of squeeze the armpits with your inner arms. Exhale for cat tuck. You want to articulate through the spine, so see if you can feel each vertebra from the inside. And notice if there's any segments of the spine that you have a tendency to skip over. It would be an indication that those little itty bitty shoelace muscles called multifidus muscles that lace up your spine have atrophied. So we want to get the blood flow back into these little guys, because they are responsible for holding the spine upright. So although cat and cow seems pretty simple, it's really important to do every day. Exhale cat, inhale cow, and pause. So I was with the 200-hour teacher training program this past weekend, and I was teaching them different ways of breathing with cat and cow, and then how that translates with throughout all the poses, really. So for beginners, I start with inhale cow, exhale cat. That's what we're most familiar with, right? But what I'd like to do is slow this down even further, where you're inhaling for cow. Exhale, transition for cat. Pause and inhale at the top, right behind your heart space. So right at the top of cat, take a big inhale and stretch upwards. And then exhale, transition. As your heart comes forward, you inhale for cow. So you're inhaling at the top of cow. Press all 10 toes into the ground, hearts forward. Exhale, transition to cat, rounding through the spine. At the top of cat, pause and breathe in. Big breath in. Right behind the heart. And exhale, transition. So you start by lifting the sitting bones. Lower belly spills forward, solar plexus, heart comes through. And inhale, extending through the crown of the head. Exhale, transition. Stay with me now. We're going to keep adding on. Big inhale right behind the heart. Exhale, transition. So start to spill the belly forward, down towards the ground. Inhale, heart lifts. Good. Now we're going to exhale back into child's pose, rounding the lower back and sitting towards your heels. Inhale, table. Exhale, cat. Inhale at the top of your cat pose. Exhale, transition. Spill the belly forward, so hips flip up. Inhale into the heart at the top of your cow pose, and exhale, curl the tailbone under, round back into child's pose. You might tense your fingers, so really scooping out the lower belly. You can rock the hips from side to side. On your next inhale, all right, I'm going to switch it up on you. You're going to press down into your shins and roll up into cat. Exhale, transition. Inhale, cow, heart forward. Exhale, curl the tailbone under, round back. So, look, you're already in cat. You're rounding back. You might take a breath in and a breath out. And on your next inhale, keep the tailbone curled under. You're rolling like a wave. You're already in cat tuck. You're just pressing into your shins and your knees. Inhale. Exhale, transition. Adding on. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, cat bow. Come down halfway. Exhale. Hold it. Inhale. Shoulder blades down the back. Elbows in towards the side body. Exhale. And inhale, press up. Curl your tailbone under. Exhale, round back. This is our warm-up. Full breath in. Slow breath out. 2 more rounds. Inhale, coming up through cat tuck. Right behind the heart. Take that breath. And that stretch. Maybe even the neck. Exhale, transition. Flip the hips. Spill into the belly. Lifting the heart. Inhale for cow. Now glide your heart forward a little bit. Let the elbows rock back as you lower down. Cat bow. Pause halfway. Now you can always come all the way down onto your chest or your chin. Pressing up on an inhale. Curl the tailbone under, round back. 1 more to go. Take your time. This should feel good. Moving meditation. Inhale. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Spilling forward, effortless effort. Inhale into the heart space. Let that inhale glide you forward as you lower down. Halfway cat bow. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, rounding back, extended child. Rock the hips from side to side. If your arms are tired from those cat bows, you can bring your hands beside your feet. Let your head rest on the ground. That sounds really nice. Good. And come on up. We're going to bring the hips off to one side and swing the legs around for butterfly pose. So soles of the feet together. Now, whenever we're working with the lower back, we must include the abdominals. So we're going to come forward, stretching our inner groin, butterfly pose. And inhale, come up into boat, helping the knees together. Activate the deep lower belly. Lift the legs, and you can keep the knees bent. We are still warming up. And lifting the heart, lean back, and breathe. So transition a few times from boat to butterfly. Let's say that was number 1, so 2 more times. The body likes 3s. Butterfly pose. So lengthen up, root through the sitting bones, and then we'll dive forward. Three to 5 breaths in each pose. Transitioning into Navasana, boat pose. Three to 5 breaths. You can extend the legs if you feel ready for it. Fan out your toes. Heart's lifted. Reach the arms skyward. If you need a little bit more, you can add your twisting action. This is plenty for me today. And one more time, coming in to butterfly pose. Baddha Konasana. Baddha bound Kona angle. Maybe some spinal undulations. If you inhale, roll up the spine. Lead with the heart as you spill forward. So this is that subtle vinyasa that you can find in each and every pose. A little hard to spinal undulate in boat, but we can try. Melt the knees together. Last boat for now. So rock back behind your sitting bones. Extend the legs, 5 breaths. And activating the muscles of the deep lower belly and the hara. And we'll cross at the ankles, shift forward. We'll come into downward facing dog for spinal stretch. First down dog. So join me in a big breath in and an audible sigh out. 2 more times. Big breath in. All the way into the hips. Exhale out. HA. Relax the shoulders. 1 more time. Very good. Find Ujjayi. Hang out. There's nowhere to go. Just down dog. Great spinal stretch. A resting pose, eventually. And walk the hands back towards the feet when you're ready to come out. Into forward fold, take hold of opposite elbows. Now bend your knees so the belly rests on the thighs. Let your upper body hang. We'll take 5 breaths here. Can just get heavy in the feet. You might even rock back and forth. Do some circles in the feet. So the purpose of this practice again is to get us rooted To allow any tension in the lower back to unwind. You might interlace your hands behind the back of your neck, get a little traction in the cervical spine. And then scooping out the deep lower belly, chin to chest, will roll up to standing. Shoulders back and down, palms spiral out, Tadasana, standing mountain. So let's take 5 breaths in standing mountain pose. Now you can close your eyes or find your drishti. Again, allow your gaze, even though we're using a drishti to fix our gaze externally, really fix your eyes there, but the gaze is still inward. Watch the breath moving. Scan the body. Refresh your step. Feel the earth underneath you. We'll shift the weight into the right foot and hug the left knee in towards the chest. Leaning back, feel the 4 corners of your right foot. Inhale, lifting the heart. Now you can even squeeze the shoulder blades together and down the spine. Exhale, release. We're going to come into chair in between. So here's the flow. Again, release tailbone down, arms reach up. And then inhale, rise up. Shift the weight to the left foot, hands to heart, and hug the right knee in towards the chest. So this is the flow. Take your time. 3 to 5 breaths. That was 1 round. We'll take 2 more. So lean back a little bit. You're using, you can interlace your fingers in front of that right knee and use that traction to draw the shoulder blades down the back and lifting the heart up between your arms. You can even roll out that right foot. And then release on an exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down into your chair pose. So in our Utkatasana, again, scooping out the deep lower belly. Tailbone releases down. A few breaths. Draw the knees and the shins back. And inhale to rise. Rooted through the feet, reach up towards the sky. You might wiggle your fingers, shift the weight to the right foot, and hug the left knee in towards the chest. Now if you'd like to release the knee, you can come into dancing Shiva. Exhale, come on down, 1 more round. Lower into Utkatasana chair pose. Shift the weight into the left foot as you inhale, rise upwards. And hug right knee in towards chest. Again, shoulder blades down, sternums high. If you'd like to release the hands, you can come into dancing Shiva. Allowing the knee to float out to the side a little bit. Soft gaze. Exhale, release. Last time, chair pose. Shift the weight over into the right foot. Inhale, rising upwards. And exhale, hug the left knee in towards chest. Dancing Shiva. Relax the shoulders, the face. Allow your gaze to be soft. Follow the breath in the body. And release. Okay, so chair pose. Come to the top of your mat if you're not there already. Chair pose. Sit a little lower. Hands to heart. Step your left foot back for warrior one. So backing out to the side. You can bring your shoulders over your hips. Reach the arms out and up. So you're bending into that front knee. Take a big breath in. Leaning back. Exhale, hands to heart. Straighten your front leg. So this is the flow. Bending your front knee, inhale, reach out and up. Lift the rib cage up off the hips so you're staying anchored in the outer edge of the back foot. Exhale, hands to heart. Press into your front foot. So down to the ground and straighten that right leg as you bring hands to prayer. 3 more rounds. We'll do this 5 times. So that was 2. So bending to your front knee, release the hands. Inhale, fill the lungs. On the top of the breath, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart, pressing into your right foot, down to the ground to straighten the right leg. Got 2 more. Might even try this with the eyes closed. Feel your feet underneath you. Pause at the top of the breath, go nice and slow. Movement matches breath. Last one. Now keep the right knee bent. Reach back behind you. Interlace your fingers. We'll find humble warrior. So open up the chest. Big inhale. And then dive forward. Now I like to let my right shoulder rest on my knee. That might be helpful for you because you're drawing your right hip back in space, yes, and your left hip forward. And reach your fingertips overhead, your knuckles. So pinkies are towards the sky, thumbs down towards the ground. Now while you're down there, take a look at your feet. And can you lift your toes, spread them out? Maybe even look at your navel. Squaring the hips off to the back of your mat. Keep your hands interlaced. Inhale, lift with your heart coming up. Straighten the front leg. Now you can take hold of opposite elbows behind the back or find reverse prayer. We're moving into pyramid pose, so you may shorten your stance even more. On an in breath, lift the heart, let the elbows rock back. And then with a long spine, leading with the heart, drape yourself over that right leg, forehead below the knee. 5 breaths. Let your head hang. Heavy in the feet. Nice stretch in the right hamstring. May breathe there. Again, relax your toes. If the hamstrings are tight, they pull on the lower back too, so. We can release the hands. When you're ready to come out, step your left foot back. We'll move into a low crescent lunge. So lower the knee. And you might rock the hips back for a nice half splits here. Hanumanasana. Let's stretch the toes out. And we'll set up for our low crescent lunge. You can bring your hands to your knee or reach the arms out and up. Now if you have a block available for you, go ahead and set it up on the outside of your right hip, or you can use your fingertips. Right hand will come down beside the hip and left arm will reach up and over to the side. We'll move into a twist. So inhale, come up, left arm crosses the body. Elbow on the outside of the knee, hands to prayer. We'll take a twist. If you'd like to tuck the back toes and lift the knee, coming into a raised lunge, that's an option as well. In your mind, and in physical reality, link up your tailbone and the crown of your head. Might lower the chin a little to do that. Feel the twist through the spine. Rev up your back leg, reaching out through your heel as you bend forward into your front knee. Ever so slightly, lift your belly away from your inner thigh. We'll release the hands to the inside of your right foot. Heel toe the right foot out a little, coming into lizard. Now you can lower that back knee, pinch your fingers. Might even roll onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot. From here, I'd like to transition into a side plank. So we'll tuck the back toes, everybody, lift the knee. Roll onto the pinky toe edge of your foot. You can bring your right hand to your right hip, and you might heel toe that right foot all the way back to meet the left. If you need to modify, you can lower that bottom knee as well. Stack your feet. 3 to 5 breaths in your side plank. And let's all lower that bottom knee. So bring that left knee down onto the ground. Your wrist, knee, and the arch of your back foot are all in line with each other. We'll reach the arm overhead. And down and around, a few big circles. Oh, reach, 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 reach. And then reach up. This time we're going to take the right arm and bring it underneath that left side body as if you were hugging a big barrel. And inhale, peel up. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, round in. Good. So this time I want you to take your elbow and bring it down onto the ground. Your elbow and your forearm, and your fingertips will be forward. And try that side plank now, again, on your elbow. If you really want to challenge yourself, let your hips lower. Now you can always bend this bottom knee as well, and then lift the leg. And then let the hips lower, bending that top knee, and lift the leg. We'll try that 3 more rounds. So lifting the hips, lifting the leg. come onto your back. Come onto your back. You're going to take your right ankle onto your left knee. Don't get too comfortable just yet. We're coming into a figure four or cradle pose. So you can always take your hands and interlace them behind that left knee. Hug it in towards the chest. We'll get a nice opening in your right hip. Right, snuggle the shoulder blades into the back. Use your right elbow to press the knee out to the side. Both feet are flexed flat. And breathe. Directing your breath into that right hip socket. And when you're ready to come out, finding happy baby. So take hold of the outer edges of your feet, soles of the feet towards the sky. And we can rock from side to side. And then hug knees in towards chest, and we'll rock up into boat pose. From boat, cross at the ankles, shift forward. Now you can move through a vinyasa or we'll meet in downward facing dog. 5 breaths in down dog. You might start with an HA as you exhale. Big inhale. So we're about at the halfway point. Big inhale. Reset, HA. Last one. And find your Ujjayi. Might refresh your step. Palm the mat. Remember, we're not trying to get anywhere. Just be in down dog. Breathing. Relaxing. Let gravity do the work. Just hold the pose. Maybe you can lift your sitting bones a little bit higher. Reignite that stretch in your calves. Lift through the side body a little bit more. Now you can inhale and lift the heels, take them over to the right. That left side body stretch. So really rooting through the left palm. Inhale, heels come to center and over to the left, rooting through that right palm. As your hips kind of reach towards the left side. Big breath in that right side body. Inhale, come to center, walk the hands back towards the feet, forward fold, just like we did before. Take hold of opposite elbows, get a little longer. So we're nice and warm now. You can start to straighten the legs. So activate your quads, release the head, but keep the backs of the knees receptive, a little micro bend. If you need to bring your hands back there to remind yourself. You can wrap your forearms around the backs of your calves. Give yourself a squeeze in. Anything goes here. Finger paint on the mat. Sway from side to side. If you'd like, you can interlace the hands behind the back. Halfway to lift. Exhale, roll the shoulders open. Another option here, and great for the IT band, is if you take your left leg, wrap it, or cross your left ankle over the right, and then walk your hands over to the left. Taking a little semicircle, if you will. Now my left knee is bent and my right leg is straight. right leg, her right ankle crosses over left. Walk the hands over to the right. So now right knee is bent, left leg is long. And inhale to center. Roll up to standing, chin to chest. Take your time. Again, notice if you skip over any vertebra, any segments of the spine. Inhale, rolling up, coming through ragdoll. Tadasana, hands to heart. Fingertips touch one at a time. Lift the elbows and press the palms together again. Just pressing the palms together. Shoulder blades back and down. Find your center. Breathing into Sushumna Nadi. Reach the arms up as you root through the feet. Lift towards the sky. Wiggle your fingertips. And release tailbone down. Soften your knees so the energy can flow. Lift the rib cage up off the hips. Big inhale. And we'll sit down into our chair pose. Hands to heart. Sit a little deeper as you exhale. Picking up your right foot, we'll step back into Virabhadrasana 1. So I like to take it out to the side as well for a nice broad base. Super rooted, leaning back so shoulders are over hips, front knee is bent, reaching the arms up. And we'll find that same flow. So as you exhale, hands to prayer, just pressing into the left foot, anchored in the outer edge of the right. Hands to heart, bending into that left knee as you inhale, arms come out and up. Palms touch overhead. Pause at the top of the breath. Really get that stretch. Bending into that left knee and exhale, hands to heart. Find your flow. 3 more rounds. Poses don't have to be complicated in order for them to be effective. Go ahead and keep that left knee bent. Reach back behind you. Interlace your fingers for humble warrior. Big inhale up into the heart space. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lean the head back. And then dive in. Left shoulder to the inside of your left knee. Draw the left hip back in space. Relax your toes. Now you're down there. Take a look. Can you lift your toes up? Spread them out. Anchor into the outer edge of the back foot. Maybe even bend a little bit more into your front knee. Deep breath. Drawing your left hip back in space. Relax the back of your neck. lifting from the heart. Inhale, come all the way up. Straighten the left leg and either take hold of opposite elbows or find reverse prayer for our pyramid pose. You can shorten the stance a little bit, maybe even widen your base some more. Let's get into the hamstring. Left leg is long. So hips are square now to the front of your mat, wherever that may be. And inhale. Release the tailbone down and lift the heart. Let the head rock back. Then lay your torso over the left thigh. Forehead below the knee. 5 breaths. Breathing into your left hamstring. If the hamstrings are tight, remember they pull on the lower back. So keep our hamstrings long and relaxed. Lots of blood flow and prana, so focus there on those 3 muscles in the back of your leg. Root through the big toe ball mound of your front foot. Draw that left hip crease back in space again. Maybe inhale, little spinal undulation. Diving in again. If you're in reverse prayer, remember to lift the elbows. We'll all meet in the low crescent lunge, releasing the hands, bend into your front knee, and step your right foot back, lowering the knee. Again, rock back and forth here, just to set up, coming into half splits, low lunge, half splits, low lunge. If you want to hang out half splits, you can stretch your toes, the front of the foot. Meet in our low crescent lunge. So again, activating the deep lower belly. This protects the lower back. You can walk your hands up that front knee. Dip into the stretch and then aim for stability. So we can dip in, but then back out so that you're neutral and not overstretching. Activating solar plexus. Reach the arms overhead. Big inhale. And lifting the rib cage up off the hips. If you have a block available to you, place it on the outside of your left hip and reach the right arm over to the side. Getting into the side body and the lat. And the lat pulls on the lower back, also the diaphragm. It's a little psoas too. Psoas connects the in the lower back, wraps around to the front. And you can look up towards your top hand, look down. When you're ready to come out, bring the hands to the inside of your left foot for lizard pose. Oh, not yet, sorry. Take your right arm, bring it across the body for your lunge with a twist. So hands to prayer, option to tuck the back toes and lift the knee. Release the right knee to the floor. Bring the hands to the inside of your left foot for lizard. You can heel toe the left foot out a little bit. And heart forward. Feels good. Okay, come onto the pinky toe edge of that left foot. Let the knee swing in and out. Now, it's more important to keep the heart lifted than to go down low and round the back. So if we're rounding down our forearms, we've really gone too far. So we might even tent the fingers and work to keep the chest elevated and the heart space open. So we're moving towards side plank. If you need to modify and keep that right knee down on the ground, please do so. But if you're coming from lizard, tuck the back toes, lift the knee. You're going to roll on the outer edge of that right foot and bring your left hand to your left hip. And you can heel toe this foot or just pick it up and left foot stacks on top of right for your side plank. And make sure that your wrist is underneath your shoulder. All your bones are stacked. And we'll breathe here. We're moving towards arm balances in the 200-hour yoga teacher training program, and this made me realize that I've been neglecting side plank. All right, let's all modify. So come on down onto that right knee. I like to bring the left big toe in at an angle. So arch of left foot, right knee, and right wrist all in one line. And you can bump the hips forward, lean the heart back, and reach overhead. So breathing, exploring your range of motion, that top shoulder, big inhale. Exhale, reach forward, down, and around. And you can switch directions of your circles if you like. Hold static, and then reach upwards. 3 rounds, we'll take that left arm and curl it underneath the right side body. So big hug. Exhale out. Inhale, reach up. Lean back. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, reaching. And last one. So come on to your right forearm. So bring your forearm parallel to the top of your mat, whichever way that might be for you. And we'll come on to our right hip. So you can either stick with your side plank here, hold that steady. Sometimes this is a little easier on the shoulder girdle and the wrist for people, especially if the wrists are tender. If you'd like to kick it up a notch as well, you can bend your knees with me. So my knees are forward some. And lift the hips up and lift the leg. And there's a bit of a timing action. So lower, inhale, lift, and extend. Exhale, bend, and lower. 3 more. Working the entirety of our abdominals here. Very good. And we'll come onto our backs. Left ankle onto right knee and hug the right knee in towards the chest for cradle pose. Some deep breaths. We're going to start switching gears here and get a little deeper into the hips. Again, both feet are flexed flat. Hugging that left knee in towards the chest. Or right knee, excuse me. You can use your left elbow to kind of kickstand the knee out to the side a little bit. Some gentle rocks. Okay. And we we are ready for pigeon pose. So let's transition through happy baby. Take hold of the outer edges of both of your feet, soles of the feet towards the sky, and rock your shoulder blades into the mat. A few big belly breaths. Lengthening the tailbone down towards the ground. And hug the knees in. Rock up into boat pose. Last one. Just to keep the heat building in the body. 3 more breaths. Deep lower belly. Draws in. Navel's in and up. Heart's lifted. Try extending the legs. It's the last one. We'll cross at the ankles. Now you can move through your vinyasa or come into downward facing dog. I'll meet you there. From down dog, pigeon on the right. Take your right knee behind your right wrist. Unfurl your left toes. Get nice and long on the mat. You can tent the fingers. Big inhale. And exhale, dive in. So great place for the continuation of our spinal undulation in our pigeon pose. You can use your blocks for your chest or your forehead. 8 breaths in pigeon. And coming on up, and depending on what you need, you can come back into child's pose, downward facing dog, move through vinyasa. We're all going to meet in downward facing dog to transition. Take your time, keep breathing, let the blood flow come back into your right leg, and then we'll meet on the left side for pigeon. So left knee behind the wrist, unfurl your right toes. We want to get nice and long. Make sure that your right toes are pointing straight back. Sometimes we'll tend to V out a little bit. So if you need to, take a look over your shoulder. Kneecaps pointing straight down towards the ground. A little spinal undulation here if you want to lift and lower, rolling up the spine. Down onto your elbows. Now it's as if your lower body were in quicksand, right? So you're really that heavy and rooted, and then you can kind of crawl out of the mud, lifting the rib cage up off the hips, and bring in a block for either your chest or your forehead. Settle in. 8 breaths on the left side. so much better already. I hope you do too. So come on into downward facing dog. Last time you can move through vinyasa or just come into extended child. That is where we will meet. So maybe a few more breaths. Pedal out the feet a few more times in your downward facing dog. Lower the knees, bring the hips to one side, and swing the legs around. Now, two more poses. It wouldn't be yoga for the lower back if we didn't have a restorative bridge to finish. But first, Paschimottanasana. So we'll extend the legs out, move the sitting bones out to the side. Be mindful of activating the deep lower belly and the hara to protect the lower back. Reaching the arms up. A few breaths here. Relax the shoulder blades down. Get that reverb rooting through the sitting bones. Activate your erector spinae muscles, squeezing them in towards center line. One more big breath, wiggle your fingers, and dive forward. So belly on the upper thighs, reach for your feet. And relax, forehead in towards the knees. 5 breaths. Keeping chin in towards chest, roll all the way onto your back. Inhale, arms overhead, get nice and long. And our final pose is a restorative bridge. So hug the knees in towards the chest, curling into a little ball. You might rock from side to side. And we'll plant the feet and bring the block underneath the sacrum. Now it can be at the mid-level or the high level, depending on what you need. If you don't have blocks available for you, you can use your hands. Fingertips towards the outside of your hips and the heels of your hands align along the sides of your sacrum. Feet are flat on the floor, knees point forward, breathe into your belly. And then invite the breath to expand from the belly and pour into the heart space, the back of the neck, even the pit of the throat. Expanding the belly and then the heart. Connect to the 4 corners of your feet. Maybe wiggle your toes as if you were wiggling them in sand at the beach. allow your breath to be the sound of the waves crashing to shore. When you're ready to come out, root through your feet first. Lift your hips up off the block and slowly, slowly, slowly lower down. Hug the knees in towards the chest. And we'll windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Now, if you'd like to take this a little deeper, you can do eagle legs. Maybe wrapping the right leg over the left. Bump the hips to the right and take the knees over to the left side. If that's too intense, just windshield wiper from side to side. Try and keep the right shoulder down on the ground. If you notice that it starts peeling up, you can place that block underneath your knee. 3 to 5 breaths. Inhale, come to center. And if you're taking eagle legs, bump your hips back to the middle, left leg over right. Bump the hips over to the left and lower the knees to the right this time. Again, you can keep windshield wipering from side to side. Allow your knees and head to go in opposite directions. Inhale, knees and head come to center. Exhale, other side. Or if you're in eagle, turn your gaze over the left shoulder. 3 to 5 breaths.